Hello and welcome to my presentation about East Asian pop culture. Today we'll explore how East Asian pop culture operates as a soft power and reshapes global identity. From Bruce Lee to BTS, each Asian media travels across national borders and influences how people imagine themselves, behave, and even belong to communities. My argument is simple. Entertainment isn't just fun. It has political and cultural consequences. Now let's begin. First, we're going to watch a video on just a simple cinematic reel of Asia.
It all begins right now, it starts. I can see a world I've never known. And now I'm flying high into the sky above it all. It's nothing like I've ever experienced. It's nothing like I've ever seen.
That's just a quick overview. Now, what is soft power? Soft power is the ability to influence others through cultural attractions, or to be more specific, it is the influence to attract rather than using military or political force. Instead of telling people what to do, soft power makes us want to do something because it looks desirable to us, it looks meaningful to us, or it looks aspirational to us. East Asia exerts soft power through films, music, storytelling, technology, and aesthetics. This kind of influence shapes identity without open coercion. For example, as you can see here, anime has become a global standard. All of these characters are easily recognizable, and this is all through soft power. Also, soft power has expanded to also a global sensation where they use this as part of the 2021 Tokyo Olympics as a opening video.
過ぎてゆく時の中あなたを思い出す物憂げに眺める画面に映った二人笑ってた知りたくないほど知りすぎてくことただ過ぎる日々に飲み込まれたのそれでもただもう一度だけ会いたくてあなたの言葉にうなずき信じた私を一人置き去りに時は過ぎる見えていたはずの未来も指の隙間をすり抜けた戻れない日々のかけらとあなたの気配を今でも探してしまうよまだあの日の二人に手を伸ばしてる
So, why does East Asian culture matter? East Asian culture matters because Japan, Korea, and China, to name a few, have become global media hubs. Anime from Japan, martial arts movies from China, and K-pop from Korea, and also online fiction from all three have been circulating widely through digital platforms like Netflix, YouTube, TikTok, and Webtoon. There are also other websites and other sites that you could watch these, and Netflix is not limited to this. This also creates audiences and fan cultures far beyond Asia. In other words, East Asian exports culture, the same way that other regions export goods. While you have grains and things and stuff like that exported from locations such as southern China, they also export shows. They also export their culture to other parts of the world. Martial arts in film as a power. Bruce Lee made the martial arts cinema a symbol of Asian pride and resistance. His films challenged the stereotypes and gave Asian bodies a heroic visibility. Jackie Chan did this by globalizing martial arts even further by mixing action with humor and multicultural storytelling. These films weren't just entertainment to people, they also projected new images of Asian identity. Back in the 1960s and 70s, when these two people were first aspiring actors, Asian bodies were just seen as your everyday body, and there was no Asian strongman, no superpower, no nothing. Now, with the introduction of Asian martial arts, mainly karate, judo, taekwondo, and sumo, these have become a lot more popular as people watched it and realized that there are other things that Asian people are also able to do, not just the Americans. Martial arts movies visualize, they tell cultural stories as well. The body has become mythic, and movements become a narrative. Especially in Fist of Fury, many times Bruce Lee does have his shirt off, and you are able to see his body in its honor and glory. And stunts act like a universal language. The audience doesn't need translation to understand courage, loyalty, or pain. This is especially true when you watch any Jackie Chan movie, as he uses his body and stunts to show what is going on. And this has also become a symbolic identity to all Asians. Because of this, martial arts cinema has become a tool of soft power. Fighting has become a fantasy, and fantasy became influence. Because obviously some of these stunts that Jackie Chan does do, as we will show in a little bit, are not fully realistic and do need many takes before they are able to be produced. So here are some of the bloopers.
This $49 portable heater is disrupting the entire heating industry, and big brands are trying their hardest.
哎呀，太大 NG 了。
There was a lot of close combat and things that you don't usually see in movies back then. Now, these are the wuxia stories. Chinese wuxia literature, like the Condor Heroes, which has now become a show, builds, and also A Hero is Born, which is a very famous book, builds national identity through values like loyalty, sacrifice, and justice. If anyone has ever watched the show, you can tell that there are 7 very close friends that become very loyal to each other and sacrifice everything for each other no matter what. And these stories are also adapted into TV dramas, games, and they spread Chinese mythology and identity beyond just China. This creates cultural memory that audiences internalize, which is a soft power through narrative. So here is a clip from the opener of the Condor Heroes where you'll be able to see that there are people that are floating in the air doing stunts that no American show has ever thought of, and these are just really important to Asian people, specifically Chinese people. So that's just some of the things you see. Now, Chinese web fiction has also spread globally through fan translation communities, and this is not just limited to Chinese web fiction, it's also from Japanese web fiction. Readers became viewers, gamers, and fan artists. For example, a story will start online, and this story will eventually get enough views, get enough readers, where a production company will want to animate it. And these online stories get adapted into an animated show or a movie. And when this has become popular enough, there are game companies that do want to popularize the anime even more. And gamification gives their fans something to do with their characters and also pay a lot of money, of course. So this happens, and then fandoms get created when all three of these novels, animes, and games get created. Fans start reproducing the culture by having groups and community meetings where people talk about it online, create fan games, fan shows, fan movies, all of that. And a story like Soul Land, which was a Chinese show, has evolved into animations, games, merchandise, global fandoms, everything. People all around the world talk about it. People all around the world know what it is. There are toys, there are games, it's everywhere. And soft power became participatory. You don't have to just watch it. You can also do something with it now. There are games, there are toys again. You can actually look at what you're doing. Now we also have anime from Japan again, which is shaping the globe. It's shaped the imagination of millions of people. Characters like Astro Boy, the Pokemon franchise, and the not shown Studio Ghibli films have defined childhood aesthetics for not only Japanese people, but also for the American people. People here know all about Astro Boy and Pokemon, of course, even when they're young. And this is from when these shows were brought over to America and dubbed into English. Anime exports not just stories now, but also it exports feelings. It exports ethics and artistic styles. And this also gives animators a chance to level up their game as more and more demanding films require more and more animation. And this has also shaped the youth more and more as kids are watching these shows and able to actually do something with it, as there are also toys for like this and card games and stuff like that. And Japan's soft power succeeded because audiences felt more emotionally connected with this because of how the visuals were looking and how many kids enjoyed it. Fiction also builds technology, such as the Japanese robot Asimo, and these were intended to look cute and friendly. And also we have the Kyuryo. It resembles anime characters in a way, but also at the same time it resembles a human child. This is a direct example of pop culture shaping engineering. The robot's face, it can actually display things on it. Movement and personality all reflected the cultural values about harmony and emotional engagement. In Japan, media creates reality. When someone wants to build something, they build it and it becomes a global sensation. So here's just a quick video of how Asimo moves. And by the way, Asimo is built by Honda.
My energy bill dropped from $150 to $50 by doing this. My energy bill dropped from $150 to $50 by doing this. Power saver device. My friends laughed at me.
Sorry about that.
My energy bill dropped from $150 to $50 by doing this. My friends laughed at me when I spent $49 on a power saver device that could cut my energy bill in half. They thought I got scammed. But when I showed them my super low energy bill, they were blown away.
Check that out. This is our current energy bill. This is our last energy bill. And as you can see, over a 56% difference.
Hi guys, I just want to share a quick and simple technique that anyone can use.
So that was Asimo. And the problem with a lot of this is Asia does get misread. There's westernization, where Western culture is given an extreme example of Asian culture many times and skews the image in the end. This misinterpretation is shown within Cat Country, which is a novel of China, and which was translated, but it was translated weirdly. And there's also the movie The Last Samurai. It did have a samurai-like nature, but at the same time was more for the Western people. And there's also simplification, where Asian countries with complex cultures are reduced. Now, people know Japan for anime, sushi, and shopping, but do they know all the religion? Do they know all the culture that comes behind all these festivals, all of these games, all of these things? No, they do not. It's just simplified. It's misunderstood and exoticized. And Western media turned this into fantasy objects rather than complex cultures. And soft power faces the risk of being appropriated or simplified every single time a culture decides to use soft power instead of forcing people to like them. And we can also see transformation and traditions as Kenryu's retelling of folk tales. And we can also see a cyberpunk hybrid here, which was briefly popular in Asia for a short time, and there's also cultural simplification again, where it's just simplified, but it's not copied. But back to the retelling of folktales, Ken Liu's Good Hunting shows a traditional Chinese folktale which transformed into a cyberpunk critique. This story demonstrated that culture isn't static. It negotiates with globalization. It's different, and soft power is not just a one-way influence, and it has to adapt, it has to resist, and it has to evolve when people push against it. So here's just a quick 50-second video.
The world was modernizing. As it changed, I changed with it. These machines were otherworldly. They felt akin to magic. Yeah? What are you doing here?
I need your help.
So this was a show. This was a show called Love, Death, and Robots, where they show this of people were just adapting to the robotic culture, and all of the different adaptations led to creating spiritual beings also as robots, which was slightly disrespectful of the culture, but at the same time it was also well received. And now we have some modern soft power, which is, for example, K-pop. It turns audiences into participants, light sticks, synchronized chants, collective performances, transform concerts into cultural rituals. And fans feel like they belong with the group sometimes, and they shape the identity through participation. And soft power becomes lived rather than just watched, as there are concerts, there are chants, there are groups, and you can buy merch, all of that. And it's also a tourism pusher for Asia. So here you can see an opening for the dance from a K-pop concert.
Diagnosed with Crohn's disease and struggling with your symptoms? It's not too soon to talk to your doctor about
and this is when fandom becomes participation, where there's light sticks, chants, and fan power again. And Asian governments have been embracing this as national branding, where Japan uses anime tourism, Korea capitalizes on K-pop, and Chinese uses dramas and apps. And as you can see, there's also fashion. K-pop fashion has become really popular for teenage people, and whenever a K-pop group decides to dress one way, a lot of people will take how they dress and be inspired to dress somewhat like them. For example, here is where there is a chant for fan power. So this is when fan chants for a somebody who has returned to the group, and as you can see, it's very participated, and even the group decides to dance along to it. And there's also identity through culture. Soft power can lead to appropriation, cultural distortion, and over-commercialization. It can also be exploited for nationalism or propaganda. Cultural influence may seem harmless, but it also carries a ton of political stakes. And for example, we have some issues in cultural exchange that comes to appropriation in the form of appropriation, a loss of nuance, or over-commercialization. And of course, there's always the risk of propaganda. Now, the media, which is always persuaded in one way, shows what only one country thinks usually. And soft power always persuades quietly. It shapes beliefs without people noticing. But from my standpoint as a pre-law student, this raises questions on cultural ownership, representation, and soft power, and the responsibility of soft power. Is soft power supposed to be governed, or is it supposed to be just shown? So what does this all mean? Culture persuades more deeply than politics. While politics may only be related to said country, or when it does expand out of the country, it becomes worse, culture shows how each culture and country actually functions as a whole. So, here's some questions that potentially come up of what controls it, and what controls it is like just how people represent the culture. You have people who represent the culture well, and you also have people who represent the culture badly. You have people like Bruce Lee who empower Asian identity, but Hollywood later repackaged that through stereotypes. And we also have, is it intentional? Sometimes it is intentional, where you have festivals and food being shown and people just want to eat it, but you also have the intentional of, again, like Jackie Chan, and the push of anime to other cultures. This was all an intentional push. And is it admiration or is it appropriated? Well, that's a question for everyone to answer for, because some people admire it, but at the same time, some people think it's appropriated. These questions matter because soft power operates beneath awareness. It shapes your identity, belonging, and desire before people even realize it. And to understand this pop culture, we must not only enjoy it, but we must analyze who understands it, who actually loses out on things when soft power is pushed, and who wins. And also, what is the true meaning of soft power? So, my key takeaways here are that entertainment is strategy, soft power affects identity, and Asia is now reshaping the globe. Thank you for watching. I hope this presentation helped you see pop culture as an influence and not just entertainment. Here's the works cited.